2 years total. Totally sober, totally clean, no alcohol, no nicotine, no THC, no hallucinogens, no stimulants, straight oxygen, water, and consciousness. I am extremely proud of that. I am extremely happy to be able to say that. Why? Because in these 2 years, my consciousness has evolved to levels of self-mastery where I own my mind, to where most people have never experienced this level of adult brain chemistry. Right, a lot of people haven't been sober 100% for at least 90 to 60 days, right? Sober since they were 13, 15, 17, 18. You don't know yourself. You haven't been your actual only self for how long? When's the last time you were fully you, without any contingencies upon any outside psychoactive substance to create a certain state of consciousness so that you can feel as if you're you, to be yourself? Or I just take a shot just to be me. I need to be me. I need to, right. So you have a problem being yourself when you take away these drugs, when you take away the substances, when you don't have the alcohol. You can't be social, you can't be confident, right? This is what I'm saying. You have to get to that level of self-mastery. Get comfortable being yourself. I got really comfortable being myself. Now, how did I do it, right? Because it's not about glowing about the achievement. Alhamdulillah, I made it, right? And I'm never going back because I love my mind. But how did I do it? You know what happened? So many things happened. But it all started when my grandmother died. My grandmother died, it was Halloween 2019. I never forget it. I was out on the town with my bros. I'm not gonna drop no names, but we out on the town, we doing our thing. I had work the next morning. I'm drunk as hell. And the next morning, I get to work. What they said to me, they said, Linda, I got to the spot. Linda and Chelsea and them, they in the basement. They like, hey, Iman, what's up? I come in there like 12 o'clock, bro. They like, how are you? I'm like regaining my faculties. They said, ha ha ha, Iman, regaining faculties. Right, everybody always laughs at the way I talk. But I was dead ass. Like, I was really regaining my faculty. I had lost my mind. Like, not lost my mind, but you know what it's like to be hungover, tired, can't really think straight, trying to get back online. Right, you trying to get back online. You feel me? Get back to your normal frequency. Anyway, fast forward, I'm on the shift. I'm there with Nicole, and it's running about 4 or 5 p.m. And I get a text message from my dad. Medium has passed away at such and such time and such date. Now, it tripped me out because this is one of my star players. A lot of people don't recognize death is very real. You're gonna, in this life of a movie, in this movie of a life, you're gonna have characters that you feel like were default, you were born into life with, right? And these default characters that were just the cast of your life, dad, mom, brother, sister, friend, this, that, and the fourth, they're gonna die and they're never gonna be a part of the movie until the end of the movie. And that shit really hits when it's somebody that was very close to you. Not only that, the true reason that it helped me move into a better space was because on a spiritual level, I saw the fact that like we're trapped in our bodies and localities. But when the soul leaves the body, now the soul is, in theory, let's say, able to perceive across distances. And for her she never saw me drunk. She never saw me in none of these decrepit states. But to know that as she was passing, I was in that lowly vibration. And just, let's run that theory. I don't want to get into the speculations about what happens in death and post-humulus situations across religions. Let's not get into that. Let's just say that people can see people from the other side, right? And she saw me in that state. I felt so ashamed of myself. So you know what? I'm never going to go back. I was regaining my faculties, like I said. I'm never going back to that. So I stopped drinking, still smoking weed. I stopped smoking weed probably like 3 days later. So this is like November 2019. So no more alcohol, no more weed, but I'm still on nicotine. I'm still on nicotine heavy. I got the Juul. I used to smoke Newports and shit, get Lucy's from the store, but I stopped doing that. I would go back and forth between the Juul, the Lucy's, and even the 𝙎𝙝𝙚𝙀𝙆𝙀𝙆𝙀. Yeah, like, you know what that means? That's dip. That's like chewing tobacco. Like, my my peoples in Sudan, they do snuff, they do salt, you feel me? So I used to do that. And it's all for nicotine, different ways to administer nicotine. But deep down, I knew that if I was doing too much snuff, I was fucking up my gums. And you know, because you start to feel the difference. When you smoking a Juul, you're like, man, I'm smoking this weird liquid solution. Like, this is a weird chemical. But then if you smoke a cigarette, you igniting this tobacco with all this fucking chlorine and rat poison and all this other wild shit. Right, and you inhaling that shit into your chemistry. Right, so it's like I'm trying to like get the nicotine, but each different modality still has its negative consequence, and I'm jumping between them all, and I'm going through all of this shit. And you know, if I didn't have my nicotine while I was at work, I felt like, you know, I get irritable, I become a less social person, my character breaks. Exactly, this is what happens when we take the drugs away from most of y'all. Y'all are not good at being yourself. You can't maintain composure, right? So fast forward, it's about January, February, Kobe died. I'm like, goddamn, Kobe left the movie? You feel me? Kobe left the movie. What happened? Then Pop Smoke left the movie. R.I.P. Pop, you feel me? Big Woo, you heard? Then my friend, my beloved big bro, Stevie D. Stevie D. Shouts out to Stevie D. R.I.P. Stevie D, you heard? I'm leaving yoga. I look at my phone and I go on Instagram as I'm going to work. And I see a post on the gram, and what he was talking about, he said he felt like such a fuck up, and you know, the drugs got to him in all these different ways, and he felt like he couldn't change, and he was hurting the people around him. Bro took his own life. Double pump shotty to the dome. Wow. Took his shit, clipped his own self out the movie. Right, because he felt like he couldn't change. Because he felt so attached to the drugs. Because the drugs had such a hold over him and his character and his soul. That anguish, you know, I love y'all. This is really real. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, don't misconstrue my intentions in sharing this, besides really sharing what catalyzed my freedom. Just to empathize with my bro, the sweetest soul on the planet, poet, beloved teacher. Right? And I never knew he was going through that. And we all low-key going through some bullshit. A lot of us have those types of habits, and we're going through that in our deep. We go to sleep and we're like, damn, tomorrow's gonna be the day I'ma change. Then you wake up, the first thing you do is go back to the bullshit. Then you feel like less of a person. Right? And then you end up in those lower depressive states. So my bro killed himself because he couldn't live with himself about how his habits and these drugs and all this other stuff had a hold on him. I said, nah, I can't go down that path. I know what that feels like. But bro felt it so hard, so painfully, so anguishly, that he clipped himself. And from there, I said, I gotta be strong for him. Like, call me selfish. That catalyzed, back to grandma, then to Kobe, then Pop, then bro. That catalyzed it, but I still didn't quit. But I was on the verge. Then Corona hit. When Corona hit, it got really